Hi there, and welcome to the video on analyzing characters. What should we be looking for to understand a character? Remember the acronym STEAL: what a character says, thinks, affects on others, actions, and looks. The S is for says: what the character says, how he or she says it. The T for thinks: what the character thinks, what is revealed through the character's thoughts and feelings. E, effects on others. These are the character's relationships. What effect does the character have on others? How do the characters feel or behave in reaction or response to that character? A for actions. What does the character do and why do they do it? L is for looks. What does a character look like? What are the physical descriptions or personality traits? Let's look at some examples. What a character says. What compels a character to behave a certain way? The next day, Laurie remarked at lunch as soon as he sat down, "Well, Charles was bad again today." He grinned enormously and said, "Today, Charles hit the teacher." "Good heavens," I said, mindful of the Lord's name. "I suppose he got spanked again." "He sure did," Laurie said. "Look up," he said to his father. "What?" his father said, looking up. "Look down," Laurie said. "Look at my thumb." "Gee, you're dumb." He began to laugh insanely. What do we learn about Laurie through what he says here? What a character thinks. This is what the author shares with the reader, and it gives insight into characters. It was warm in the attic, and as I lay quietly listening to the sounds of the house falling asleep and repeating a Hail Mary over and over in my thoughts, I drifted into the time of dreams. Once I had told my mother about my dreams, and she said they were visions from God, and she was happy, because her own dream was that I should grow up and become a priest. After that, I did not tell her about my dreams, and they remained in me forever and ever. What does the reader learn about Antonio in this passage? Effects on others, relationships. Keep an eye on character interactions and reactions. Knowing that Mrs. Mallard was afflicted with heart trouble, great care was taken to break to her, as gently as possible, the news of her husband's death. It was her sister Josephine who told her, in broken sentences, veiled hints that revealed and half concealing. Her husband's friend Richards was there too, near her. It was he who had been in the newspaper office when intelligence of the railroad disaster was received, with Brentley Mallard's name leading the list of killed. He had only taken the time to assure himself of its truth by a second telegram, and had hastened to forestall any less careful, less tender friend in bearing the sad message. How would you describe the way Mrs. Mallard's sister and friend break the news to her of her husband's death? What does that tell you about how they view Mrs. Mallard? Actions. Actions speak louder than words, true in literature as anywhere else. But Joffin didn't merely report to the boat deck. He reasoned that if boats were needed, provisions were needed too, so on his own initiative, he mustered his staff of 13 bakers and ransacked the Titanic's larder of all spare bread. The bakers then trooped topside, carrying 4 loaves apiece. Though all the boats were gone, Joffin was anything but discouraged. He went down to B deck and began throwing deck chairs through the windows of the enclosed promenade. Others watched him, but they didn't help. Altogether, he pitched about 50 chairs overboard. What do we learn about Charles Joffin from his actions the night the Titanic sank? Looks. Physical or personality qualities, like brown hair, friendly, shy, skinny. Now and again she would glance up at the clock, but without anxiety, merely to please herself with the thought that each minute gone by made it nearer the time when he would come. There was a slow, smiling air about her, and about everything she did. The drop of a head as she bent over her sewing was curiously tranquil. Her skin, for this was her 6th month with child, had acquired a wonderful translucent quality. The mouth was soft, and the eyes, with their new placid look, seemed larger, darker than before. What do you learn about how Mary Maloney looks from this passage? And a bonus challenge. Who would you cast in her part if you were directing this story as a movie? Analyzing characters. Let's get graphic. This graphic organizer can certainly help you organize information that you find in a piece of literature to help you better understand a character. Remember STEAL, what a character says, what a character thinks, the effects on others, the relationships and interactions that characters have, actions, what a character does, his or her behavior, and looks. It can be physical traits or personality traits. STEAL, because your characters always steal the show in your favorite stories. If you have questions about character analysis, make sure you ask your teacher. Thanks for watching.